Good afternoon, Miss Olive, Miss Bubbles.
Good afternoon.
You have a new hairdo?
Hindi, patali lang yan. Mahaba lang kasi. Patali lang.
Kaya, oo.
Init eh, may init eh.
Another.
Hi.
Hello.
You young. My internet is says with
Hi.
here.
Hindi nag-brownout dyan sa inyo, Lina?
Actually, I think last night because of the CCTV. Okay. And then internet signal.
Oo, na-affect. Yeah, there's another one coming. I don't know if it's going to hit us naman. Meron na naman.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi,
Hello.
hi.
Cannot see my
Dr.
face.
Hi, Cecily.
Hi. Hello, hello. Exciting ano, magpapa-register ka.
Kaya lang yung mga
Diyos ko.
wrangler hindi marunong mag-register.
Oo eh. Tapos biro mo yung sa akin, alam mo ba, chinek ko pa isa-isa yung mga email. Grabe, oo. Sabihan mo
Ang dami
pa
pa naman na
isa-isa.
sa'yo.
Oo, grabe. Sobra exciting.
Yeah, we live in exciting times.
Mr. Phil, majority of the participants of the registrants are yours.
Oo, eh. Pamilya lang.
Oh, kami rin.
Hanggang ngayon, may humahabol pa. Kaya, naku, Diyos ko, ano ba ito? Ngayon, di sabi ko, di nagtitext ako kasi malalive din dito sa cable. Na malalive din kasi dito sa akin. Tapos sabi ng mga nag-register, bakit pinag-register mo pa kami? Malalive pala sa cable. Sabi ganyan. Sabi ko, fundraising namin eh. Sabi ko, wala din man ako pwedeng magbigay ng walang pangalan. Sabi ko. O, kaya i-hook ko ulit siya for live. Kaya at least maraming makakanood.
Ay, oo.
Very helpful.
Oo.
Yeah.
Bubbles here, 100,000.
Ano yan?
That's
How's everything for next week, for the 11th? Okay na? Everything fixed? Ayos ka na?
Yes, probably.
Nagkaan yung audio mo.
Sino?
Si Fernandez.
Hello,
Pinapatanong po ni Attorney Mauricio.
I won't be able to see pala kasi naka-shared screen siya. Bubbles?
Yes?
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you very clearly.
Is it dark? Is it hindi dark?
Your face is dark. You have
My
to
face
light
is
up your
dark?
face. Medyo madilim yung... Oo. Kasi maliwanag yung background mo. Your background is bright.
How about, is this better? Is this better?
One side. You have a it's lighting only one side of your face. You have to have on the other side. Meron ka bang lamp that you can
Meron
turn on?
actually pero hindi ko inabit Teka. Oh, I need to plug in.
Hello po.
Hi, Mary. Ay, nagwe-waver yung signal ko.
Hi, Miss Neri.
Hi, Doc Cecil.
Hi, good afternoon. Ang hirap challenging grabe mga email. Oo. Hanggang anong oras ito? Ilan live ko din ulit siya
Ang po natin, hopefully yung maka 1.5 hours po. Depende sa question and answer kasi po.
1.5
We'll start
hour.
exactly at 2 p.m. So
Ng 2 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, kasi hanggang 3 lang ako 3:30 kasi may YWC kami.
Okay.
Sige, done.
Secretary kasi ako dun Hirap naman maging secretary. Grabe.
Kasi Alexa na lang.
Ay.
That's the the air purifier.
Sobrang challenging yung secretary talaga na yan. Kaya grabe ang challenge kay Miss Neri, Daming paperwork. Miss
Hindi nga
Neri,
kami kompleto ng committee Wala si Babes
Ay,
May kasabay daw
ganon.
sa GSP meeting
May nakasabay siya.
Oh.
Pagkatapos natin lahat ito, ayusin mo na lahat itong mga webinar na ginawa natin ng yung sa paano ba to para i-email mo sa akin para mailabas ko dito sa cable ko. Gagawin ko siyang
yung Safe Spaces Act na sa YouTube na po.
Gagawin ko siya kasi
So pwede
in
nyo na
between.
siyang pwede na
Oo, sa mga kasi once kasi na naiayos ko siya sa cable kasi naka-showing na yan, na siya, tuloy, na to, paulit-ulit na lang siya. Kaya kailangan maganda yung pag-sequence ko. Kaya kung pwede maganda yung ipadala mo sa akin na kopya.
Okay na po yung copy ng Safe Spaces Act kasi na-edit na yun, nailagay na sa YouTube.
Oo, pero ang problema ko doon, kasi yung sa PWU, nakakabit kasi siya doon sa sa PWU documentary, di ba? Nakakabit. Pwede ba kaya nating ihiwalay? Pwede mo ba akong bigyan ng hiwalay?
Sige po, ma'am.
Basta kung pwede, bigyan mo ako ng individual na lang na mga kopya niya, yung gano'n para mas madali ko siyang maiayos. Okay. Thank you.
Opo, sige po. Try mo lang.
Olive, can you see? Bubbles, can you see?
Yes.
Can you see? Okay na?
I can see you. Better. Madilim kanina. At saka kasi maliwanag yung back mo, nawawash out yung face.
Okay.
I can see better.
Because I can see it on my screen
Wala ka bang yung monitor screen sa side? Baka,
Wala.
baka na-minimize mo yung
Wait.
ano.
There. Yeah. Oo,
You can-
na-minimize ko.
na-minimize.
There, I see it now.
You can see yourself.
She, okay na yung background mo? Yung backdrop mo? Sherille is our GM sa MegaManila.
Nandun siya sa office.
Oo.
Opo. Good afternoon po.
Hello. Good afternoon. Nakamask ka ba?
Sa office kanina. Malalayo naman. She's inside the room eh. She's away from from other people.
How many people are in the office?
Sa
How many
back
are allowed?
office.
Ilan
Siya,
ang pwede?
ilan
Di ba merong number, di ba? Merong number. Na pwede within a certain space.
More than 10 po yung yung pumapasok sa office ngayon.
Okay. Pero
Pero dito
malaki
po
yung,
sa executive office, 3 lang kami.
malaki naman yung office eh, yung outside area.
So there's plenty of room.
Ay, mas maganda yun yan. Si Neri nakakatawa eh, akala nila nag-register na sila, hindi pa pala nag-register. Neri, ikaw na lang mag-register kasi hindi sila yata marunong. Pero gusto
yung
nila
online.
gusto nila mag-join, ang alam lang nila i-click yung Zoom link.
Kasi yung registration, marami ka pang sasagutin eh. Click ka ng click, sasagutin, click, sagot. Tapos kung hindi mo masagot, hindi nagre-register.
Hindi magtutuloy. Oo.
Name, email lang yun, ma'am.
Dali ha, may
Name,
battery.
email. Saka organization para lang ma-recognize natin.
Dapat pala, hindi, meron siyang ginawa na sarili niyang backdrop.
Dali ha, my battery is running low. Oh my God.
Prints. Oo. Anong klase? Siguro ipadala mo na lang sa warehouse kasi wala naman tayong biyahe. May pandemic pa. Oo. I-ano na lang, ilista na lang na nandun yan. Mga ano na yan. Yung mga lagagas. Oo.
Neri, nandiyan ka?
Opo.
Standby ka lang ha, kasi nag-flicker tong battery ko. Hindi ko lang kung bakit. Kabit
Sige
naman
po.
ako. Just in case. Anyway, you have my script, no? So, kung pag bigla akong nawala, pick up ka na lang.
Sige po.
Just in case.
May
It's
video
on,
pa
but-
naman na makuuna, ma'am.
Oo.
May mga videos pa.
Kanina, I don't know why it's fluctuating.
Hello. Hello, Karen.
Ma'am Jane.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon po.
Miss Neri, naka-post ba to sa FB?
Naka-live na po siya sa FB.
Naka-live na siya sa FB. Ano nga, sa NCWP?
Opo, NCWP.
NCWP post.
NCWP sa YWCA din po.
Ano?
Parehong
NCWP and
FB page.
YWCA.
And okay, sige.
Nasa Kawayan ka ba, Cecil?
Oo. Andito ako sa Kawayan.
Sa bagay, mas masarap dyan, ano?
Oo nga. Oo nga.
Kumusta kaya si Dr. Mariano? Parang hindi natin siya nakasama during the last meeting.
Okay naman daw siya. Meron lang daw, ano ba siya. Tinawagan ko siya, tinext ko siya eh. Kasi akala ko kung baka nagkasakit, kaya hindi naka-attend. So, tinext ko siya to find out. Okay naman daw siya. May kasabay lang na event siya sa CWL. Hindi siya nakasali.
Miss Neri, may message si Linda. Register daw 2 more persons.
4 nga po yung pinadala niya. 120 na nga tayo.
That's a nice problem.
Nice
Happy problem.
Na-hit na niya yung 100 na makakapasok. Siyempre po yung naunang nag-register ang pinapapasok.
Nasagot mo naman siya sa message, sa Viber. 4 nga pala. Ito,
Opo, sinagot ko po siya.
Na? Okay.
Hello, Neri?
Opo.
Neri?
Oo.
Naririnig mo pa?
Yes po.
Okay. Hindi kita nakikita eh. Hindi ko makikita yung ano. Hindi ko rin nakikita. Oo. Nakikita ba ako? Hindi.
Opo, nakikita ko po kayo.
I can see you.
Ganon. Okay.
I can hear you.
Mary, 5 na. 5 na yung pinapa-register ni ano.
Oh my God.
Hello?
Ma,
Oh,
Talergy. Pwede po ba kayo makausap? Gusto kayo?
may webinar ako eh. Bakit?
Hindi. Kasi po,
Uh-oh.
Ano, wala na silang order. Hoy.
The Young Women's Christian Association of the Philippines is a private, non-stock, non-profit, non-sectarian, service-oriented, and charitable organization which was founded in 1948. YWCA aims to develop the physical, social, intellectual, moral, and spiritual well-being of women and girls in accordance with the Christian ideals for which the movement is deeply rooted. The goal of the YWCA are to bring about quality of life, to develop women as change leaders and members in body, mind, and spirit, to engage in selfless Christian service, and to empower women and girls in dynamic partnership with men and service groups toward total transformation. The Young Women's Christian Association is founded in 1855 by Emma Roberts and Lady Mary Jane Kinnear. These two agreed to consolidate their efforts for a common cause during the Crimean War. In the Philippines, a similar interest group, the Time Investment Club, founded in 1921 under the leadership of Mrs. Felicissima Ralcosa Barca, became the nucleus of the YWCA movement in the country. The first YWCA was officially organized in October 1926, which is the YWCA of Manila. Its first honorary president was Mrs. Aurora A. Quezon. This was followed by the organization of YWCAs of Baguio and San Pablo, thus the need to have a national organization. Dr. Josefa Hara Martinez was the first chairperson of the Provisional Board who worked on the establishment of the YWCA of the Philippines. And on February 14, 1948, the YWCA of the Philippines was formally created with Dr. Flora Ilagan as the first national president. The YWCA of the Philippines was admitted as a corresponding member of the World YWCA during the World Council meeting in Hangzhou, China in 1948 and was taken in as an active member at the World Council meeting in Beirut, Lebanon in 1951. It is linked with other national YWCA in about 100 countries around the world through the World YWCA, whose headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland. The YWCA is at work in the Philippines through groups such as YBODs, who is elementary school girls, Y Teens organized in secondary school, Student Y organized in colleges and universities, Young Professional and the Adult Ys. There is also the Community Youth Club, whose members either be in school or out of school. The YWCA of the Philippines has over 20 local associations all over the country and serves over 50,000 people through these local associations. Local Association from Northern Luzon, Local Association from Southern Luzon, Local Association from Visayas Region, and Local Association from Mindanao. YWCA leadership headed by Mrs. Lilia A. Farinas, National President, Ms. Marla May A. Baez, National Youth Coordinating or NYCC President, and Mrs. Nerissa B. Liena, National Executive Director. YWCA of the Philippines legal mandate. Affiliated with World YWCA. Programs and services are accredited by the Department of Social and Welfare and Development. We partner with other organizations like YMCA, GSP, NCWP, Renewable Energy Coalition, PhilCADSA, FAWA Philippines. Our local association partner with DepEd, CSWDO, and other entities. YWCA pioneered in health and recreation, introduction of physical education in the school curriculum, adult education, community center, camping for girls, youth work, residents, and ecumenical movement. Here are the YWCA strategic actions and accomplishments.
Are you always worrying about pest infestation, damages to your products and goods, weakening structure of your home, the safety of your family, especially during these times? Worry no more. Mega Manila has got you covered. Mega Manila Pest Management Specialists Inc. is a licensed pest control operator under the Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority, or FPA. We use only pesticides that have passed registration scrutiny of the FPA and the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA. Customers are guaranteed that safe and proper pesticide applications are observed in all projects. Mega Manila is composed of a team of dedicated professionals who have been in the pest control industry for over 30 years. The team's technical expertise, together with practical experience, makes Mega Manila the ideal choice for your pest management needs. Our pest management process is science-based. Our approach begins with inspection and assessment of the entire facility to determine infestation problems, their sources, and the extent of damage. This is followed by proper and correct identification of pests, a critical step in pest control that will guide every pest control operator in addressing existing infestation problems efficiently. Depending on the needs and requests of clients, the next step is the treatment or application of one or more control measures. Our service continues long after the pest problem has been solved. We do regular monitoring of treated areas to check for recurrence or possible pest activity. Reports are regularly submitted to clients to ensure that they fully understand the cause of the infestation problems. We offer guidance to clients on how to prevent reinfestation. Our holistic approach helps us earn trust and lasting business relationships with our clients. Guided by the principle of total customer satisfaction, Mega Manila continually innovates and updates its systems and procedures to be able to give our clients a reliable, professional, trustworthy, and value-for-money experience. To know more about our services, you may visit our Facebook account and website. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep yourselves updated. For concerns and inquiries, please do not hesitate to call or send us a message.
A happy and healthy afternoon to everyone. And on behalf of the National Council of Women of the Philippines, the Young Women's Christian Association of the Philippines, with the help of Mega Manila Pest Management Specialists Incorporated, we welcome you to this afternoon's program, where we shall be addressing concerns and issues really close to our hearts. When we welcome this new year, we greeted the year 2020 with a lot of fanfare, high hopes, because as 2020 connotes clear vision, which means that we look forward to a coming year with much anticipation. However, a couple of months into the new year, our whole world changed. The whole world changed for everyone. Of course, I need not go into the struggles, the challenges we all had to face, the adjustments, and the acceptance that 2020 will be a year like no other. We shall be facing what we call the new normal, which is now the now normal and the new reality. COVID-19, pandemic, all these words ring in our ears, resonate everywhere and in the lips of almost everyone. However, all is not lost. As we turn to a more positive note, the whole situation, that's why we're here today, to learn how to go on with our lives, to move on with COVID-19. We have invited someone who can help us live and learn how to survive amidst this pandemic. But before we proceed, just a few reminders, please. In keeping with Zoom etiquette, may we request you all to please turn off your mics and your cameras until such time that you are recognized to speak. This will allow the program to proceed without any distractions. So, as we begin today's program, let us pause for a while as we recognize and give thanks to the great power above who has kept us all safe and healthy. Mrs. Rosella Jean Puno, President of the Philippine Women's Christian Temperance Union, will lead us in an opening prayer, after which we shall raise our flag together and we sing the Lupang Hinira.
Let us pray. God our Father, as we prepare for our webinar today, we come before you praising and blessing you for all you have been and are and will be still to us, whatever be the time or season in our lives. Despite our current situation of being quarantined because of the pandemic that has struck us and shows no sign of abating, we thank you, Lord, for we trust that you purpose good even out of evil. We remember Joseph in the Bible telling his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to save lives." Yes, Lord, you don't just create lives and take lives. You also save lives, literally as well as spiritually. Because you love us, you care about our welfare. And so we have this hope in you, even in this season of crisis. Many lives are stricken, many lives are lost, but still many lives are preserved by your grace. This afternoon, dear Lord, we are grateful to you for allowing us this time and this space, for coming virtually together in order that we may learn to help ourselves in yet another way, aside from the protocol that doctors have established. Bless our resource speaker who will educate us, and bless us with the necessary understanding. In your precious Son's dear name. Amen.
Kayang pag-ibig, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa bibig mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, gulatan ng pag-ibig, sa manlulupin, di ka masisigil. Sa lahat ng tulog, sa sigil at sa lamin mong mahal, may nilagang pula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang ng patawad, ngunit ang buhay na nagniligid. Tuwing nag-araw ng kailan pa may madilim, lumalang araw ng walhati pagsita, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming hikaya na pag ay magkakamit, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
We now invite Mrs. Teresita Gonzalez, the ever-gracious President of the National Council of Women of the Philippines, to officially welcome you.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Cleaning Tips to Disinfect Your Home Against COVID webinar. We thank you for taking time from your schedules to join us here today. The emergence of the COVID virus has taken the whole world by surprise. When we first heard of its existence in China late last year, we had no idea that in just a few weeks, we would find it at our doorsteps. For the first half of the year, we all lived in fear for this little-known virus. We saw friends and family suffer the ordeal of being afflicted by it and the unfortunate experience of even losing some of them to this deadly unseen enemy. Through time, though, the scientific community learned about this virus, how it is transmitted, and how to avoid contracting it, making it possible for all of us to go on with our lives and to coexist with the virus. Life as we know it will never be the same again, though. The face masks and face shields have become our new best friends. Keeping a distance of at least 1 meter from the person next to us has become an imperative. Washing our hands periodically for 20 seconds has become second nature to us. On top of all these, never have we been more conscious about disinfecting our surroundings and anything we lay our hands on. This afternoon, we will share with you effective disinfection protocols recommended by the experts that will keep you and your family safe and buy you some peace of mind amid this pandemic.
Thank you, Madam President. Now, we have many special people who have joined us this afternoon, and we would like to acknowledge their presence. Mrs. Narisa Niela, Chairperson of the Special Projects Committee of the NCWP and National Executive Director of YWCA of the Philippines, will recognize and acknowledge these special people.
Thank you very much, Professor Olive. A pleasant afternoon to all. I have the distinct privilege to introduce to you our guests and participants to this afternoon's webinar, brought to you by the National Council of Women of the Philippines in partnership with the YWCA of the Philippines and the MegaManila Pest Management Specialists. Let me start by calling the officers and institutional members of the NCWP board, led by President Teresita Gonzalez, the Executive Vice President, Mrs. Lina Tanuatco, the Vice President for Luzon, Dr. Cecil D., the Vice President for NCR, Ms. Josephine Parilla, Vice President for the Visayas, Regina Benitez. Of course, we have our Treasurer, Attorney Alice Rizos Vidal, Institutional Directors of Professor Olive, representing the Philippine Women's University. And of course, we have from the National Federation of Women's Club, National President Linda Gonzalez. And we will be expecting some of our institutional members from Catholic Women's League, the Philippine Federation of Business and Professional Women, and the Girl Scouts of the Philippines. We are so delighted to have different organizations, affiliates, and supporters of NCWP. I would like to start with Patamaba Magisi, participants from Patamaba Magisi, from the Philippine Women's University, from Women Lawyers Associations of the Philippines, of course, YWCA of the Philippines and its local associations. We have the full support of the MegaManila Pest Management Specialists, from INUS Institute of Science and Technology, INUS Cavite, the National Federation of Women's Club participants. We have participants from Soroptimist International of San Juan, Soroptimist International of Makati, Soroptimist International of Malabon, and another is from Tanay Ladies Associations. We have a big participation from Kawayan Isabela, of course, different organizations in Kawayan, made possible by our Vice President from Luzon, Kawayan City Green Ladies Organization, Cagayan Valley Tourism Council, JCI Senate Isabela Chapter, Federation of International Cable TV Association of the Philippines, and Faustino D. Foundation. Incidentally, this webinar is being streamed over cable channel in 11 municipalities of Isabela, the province of Isabela. We have participants from La Union Vibrant Women Incorporated. We have participants from the City of Dasmariñas, Cavite, Kalinga sa Kalayaan Association, Municipal Social Welfare Development Office, Taytay Rizal. We have participants from DepEd Cebu, from the Department of Budget and Management, Region 6, the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, Stillwater's EduCamp Academy, DepEd Dagupan City, Pangasinan, Mariano Marcos Memorial Hospital, Ilocos, Philippine Association of Social Workers, Vegan, Malagos Agri Ventures, Davao City. We have Bureau of Fire Protection. Then we have King's College of the Philippines, Baguio City. Kahit po may bagyo, nandito ang DepEd Tabaco Albay. We have participants from National Wages Regulatory Board, DepEd Dipakulaw Aurora, Good Government PH, and Antipolo Medical Society. Thank you so much for gracing this afternoon's webinar, and I hope you will learn a lot from the presentation of our speaker. Back to you, Professor Olive.
Thank you, Ms. Neri. Thank you. Thank you all for being with us this afternoon, and we assure you there's much to learn this afternoon. But before we proceed, we'd like to hear some words of greeting from Ms. Lilia Farinas, our very hard-working president of the YWCA of the Philippines. Ma'am.
NCWP President Ms. Teresita Gonzalez, Mrs. Nerissa Liana, Chairperson of the Special Projects Committee, NCWP, and our National Executive Director of the YWCA of the Philippines, officers and members of NCWP and YWCA, and from MegaManila Pest Management Specialists, our participants from the different institutional members of the NCWP and other affiliates, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon. It has been over 7 months since the COVID-19 pandemic wreaked its havoc to the lives of millions of Filipinos. The current statistics in the country of daily new infection, though dropped from its previous high, and the easing of some restrictions in different areas does not necessarily mean that we became complacent and disregard health protocols. Filipinos is known to be concerned on cleanliness, especially to our bodies. We believe that we cannot go through the day without taking a bath of at least once a day, for some maybe more. During the onset of COVID-19 pandemic, we were mindful of constant hand washing and sanitizing. After work and arriving from home, we proceed to the bathroom to at least wash and take the quick changing of clothes before we even touch our loved ones. However, aside from ensuring our individual body's cleanliness, we need for keeping our home and its every corner and available fixture clean and disinfected should be part of our daily routine. Thus, this afternoon, webinar is necessary for all of us, men, women, and children, to know the basic tips how we can ensure that our homes are clean, disinfected, and safe for all of us. Remember that cleanliness is still next to godliness. Good afternoon to all. Thank you very much at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you, Ma'am Farinas. And now, friends, our PS de Resistance, Mrs. Lina Lutgada Tanwata, Executive Vice President of the NCWP, will now introduce our guest speaker.
Our resource speaker is the General Manager for 11 years of Mega Pest Management Specialist, a company well known for its superior pest control services to a wide range of industries, establishments, homes, hospitals, and manufacturing plants. She manages around 70 employees that handles international and local accounts, including that of Philip Morris. She spearheads the company's development of alternatives to post-spin fumigation, bioefficacy, and commercial trials. Her experience in her field dates back in 2002, where she worked as Product Registration Officer of AgChem Manufacturing Corporation. She was the project component coordinator of the Philippine National Methyl Bromide Phase-Out Strategy, a project of Environment Management Bureau of DNR and Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority from 2005 to 2008 that implemented the project's program and targets relative to the Montreal Protocol timelines. She also prepared the reports required by Ozone Secretariat, World Bank, Philippine Ozone Desk, and Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority. As Technical Support Officer of Le Firenze Marketing and Management Corporation until 2009, she conducted bioefficacy trials of products marketed by the company. She was the director of the Philippine Turf Grass Association from 2008 to 2011. She is accredited as a certified pesticide applicator, both as fumigator and exterminator by Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority. She is also an accredited Australian Fumigation and Accreditation Scheme provider by Australian Quarantine and Fumigation Standards, Methyl Bromide Fumigation Standards. She is a licensed chemist, a graduate of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, with a degree of Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, and her undergraduate thesis entitled Preparation and Characterization of Dihydroxyprofil Cellulose from Nata de Coco and its use as coating for some fruits and vegetables, was presented to the 40th Philippine Association of Food Technologies Annual Convention. A determined and dedicated professional with perfectionist manner in performing her duties, and has demonstrated good leadership skills and proven track record in her chosen field. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Miss Sherille B. Andres.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, thank you very much, NCWP, for inviting me in this webinar. And I am very appreciative that we could be sharing some tips and knowledge on disinfection. At least sa ganito pong paraan ay makatulong po kami sa bawat Pilipino, sa buong bansa, kung paano po tayo makakatulong sa pagsugpo ng virus na ito. So, I would be sharing some tips and knowledge. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Tips and knowledge about disinfecting our homes. Okay. Di okay naman yung makikita siya. Okay. So I am pleased to present with you some tips and knowledge in behalf of MegaManila Pest Management Specialist Inc., disinfecting our homes. So since December 2019, palagi na po nating naririnig itong term na ito, itong coronavirus. So review lang po tayo ng kaunti about the virus. So it's a type of virus. It's actually composed of a large family of viruses with crown-like spikes on the surface. Thus the name corona. Okay, so ito rin po yung mga virus na nagkakos ng flu, ng common colds. Okay, and yung Middle East Respiratory Syndrome and the SARS virus. Okay. So the severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2 or SARS-CoV-2, ito po yung virus. This is the virus that causes the disease called COVID-19. So the virus is SARS-CoV-2 and yung disease naman po is COVID-19. So let's talk about the chain of infection. Paano po ba tayo nagkakaroon ng sakit na COVID-19? So it would start from the infectious agent, which is the virus or the SARS-CoV-2. So sabi nga po ng mga scientists, yung SARS-CoV ay nagmula siya dun sa mga bats na nag-originate dun sa isang cave from China. So si SARS-CoV po na virus, hindi naman siya makakapagparami or hindi siya makakapag-transmit kung hindi siya dadami kung walang host. Okay? So dapat makapasok muna siya sa living cell, okay, ng humans and animals, which is called the reservoir. Okay? So paano naman siya malilipat sa mga tao and sa animals? So meron tayong tinatawag na portals of exit or how the virus leaves the reservoir. So yung mga bodily fluids like blood, yung mucus, yung saliva, yan po yung nagiging portals of exit ng bawat virus. Okay? So modes of transmission. So paano ba? How the virus spreads from the reservoir to the host. So ito po ay natatransmit through the physical contact, nakipag-usap tayo, nakipag-meeting sa ibang tao, nakipag-shake ng hands. Okay? So natatransfer siya from the droplets from the body. And just recently, maybe in August or September, it was declared na airborne na po yung COVID-19 or the SARS-CoV-2. Okay? And then the portals of entry. So how does the virus enters the host? So nakakapasok po yung virus through the mouth, nose, and the eyes. Okay. Kaya po, lagi tayong pinagsusuot ng mask, pinagsusuot tayo ng face shields, social distancing po tayo dahil po dito sa chain of infection na ito. So ngayon, pag nakapasok na po si virus sa loob ng katawan natin, that's the time na magkakaroon na po ng traits or symptoms yung tao or yung host na nagkaroon ng virus. So depende po sa susceptibility or the severity of the infection, lalabas yung mga symptoms doon sa tao na yon na nakakuha ng virus. And the cycle just goes on. Okay? So, science-based po lahat. Yung mga scientists natin, nagpakahirap po sila para maaral po ang lahat ng ito. So, dapat lang na tayong lahat ay sumunod dun sa mga protocols na pinoprovide po ng ating gobyerno, na tayo ay magkaroon ng social distancing, magsuot tayo ng face mask, we wash our hands frequently. Dahil po dito sa chain of infection na ito. Okay? So, let's move on to the real topic of the webinar, which is disinfection. So disinfection is about the application of chemicals or heat that will drastically control microorganisms such as bacteria and viruses. And the chemicals that we use is what we call the disinfectants. Okay. So pag disinfectants, ito po yung nagko-control ng microorganisms such as the bacteria and the viruses. So ano po ba itong mga disinfectants na to? Ito po yung most common, yung alcohols. Yan yung lagi natin ginagamit. So we have the isopropyl alcohol and the ethyl alcohol. So between the two, mas superior po yung ethyl alcohol compared po sa isopropyl alcohol based on the conducted researches. And then yung next po na mostly familiar po tayo are the chlorine and chlorine compounds. Ito po yung sodium hypochlorite or yung bleach na ginagamit po natin. Example po is yung Zonrox at saka yung mga Clorox. Yun po yun. Sodium hypochlorite po yun. And then there's one chlorine compound. Ito po yung chlorine dioxide na ginagamit po ito mostly ng mga professionals na po. Wala akong nakita pa nito sa market, itong chlorine dioxide. So mostly ang nakikita natin sa market is yung mga alcohols and the sodium hypochlorite. We also have the hydrogen peroxide. Ito po yung agua oxinada, yung common agua oxinada. And then the quaternary ammonium compounds or the quats. Example is the benzalkonium chloride. If mahilig po kayo nagpapamanicure, yung pong nilalagay na reddish compound sa natin, yun po yung benzalkonium chloride. So, hindi po yun nilalagay para maging pinkish or reddish yung ating yung ating fingers or yung sa paa, 'di ba? Actually, antiseptic po yun, yung benzalkonium chloride. And another example is the alkyl dimethyl ammonium chloride. So, yan po yung mga tinatawag na quaternary ammonium compounds. And we also have the aldehydes. Some examples are the formaldehyde and the glutaraldehyde. So, ito pong mga last few disinfectants that I have mentioned, ito po ay ginagamit na ng mga professionals. So, I would dwell more on the use of alcohols and sodium hypochlorite, which is readily available in the market. So, caution lang po, we should buy and use hand sanitizers and disinfectants that are registered and approved by the FDA. Medyo marami lang din po kasing nagsasamantala ngayon sa market, so be careful na lang po. So, we should make sure na meron pong nakalagay na registration numbers dun sa binibili nating mga chemicals or disinfectants and sanitizers. Bakit ko po nasabi? Kasi kung ito pong mga produkto na ito na dumaan po sa scrutiny ni FDA, makakasiguro po tayo. We are sure na ito pong mga products na to ay may maganda pong quality. Na kung sinabi po nila na itong alcohol na to ay may 80% ethyl alcohol, sigurado po tayo na talagang may 80% alcohol po iyon. Dahil tinetest po nila yung na yon, yung content na yon. At saka yung mga claims ng mga manufacturers, nag-undergo po iyon ng scrutiny ng FDA. So, baka po kasi bumibili tayo, syempre may mga claims na ito ay 80% or 70% isopropyl alcohol, pero hindi naman nga siya nami-meet yung standard na yon. So, kung hindi niyo po kayo sigurado, meron naman po mga available links sa internet. Makikita niyo po doon, pwede niyo i-google yung mga list ng registered alcohols and sanitizers ng FDA. Okay? So, gusto ko lang ipakita, ano pa pagkakaiba nitong sanitizers, nitong mga disinfectants and sterilizers pagdating sa in terms of reducing and controlling the microorganisms and their efficacy. So, yung po mga sanitizers, they reduce the bacteria and viruses on the surface. Okay? Disinfectant, it controls. And the sterilizers, ito naman po yung talaga nag-eliminate, kumbaga 100% na-eliminate po niya yung bacteria and viruses. Sa disinfectant po kasi, there is a possibility na may mga spores po na naiiwan, spores ng bacteria. Whereas sa mga sterilizers, pati po yung spores napapatay. So in terms of efficacy, si sanitizer, kumbaga may 3 stars siya, si disinfectant, 6 stars, and then sa mga sterilizers, 9 stars, parang ganon. Okay. So kaya po sa mga hospital settings or sa mga clinic, nag-sterilize po sila, 'di ba? Tayo sa bahay, kapag may baby tayo, ini-sterilize natin yung bottles, yung mga feeding bottles ng mga babies natin. Kasi nga po, iyon yung pinaka-best way to disinfect yung bottles nila. Kasi lahat po ng bacteria, pati yung spores, napapatay. Okay. So, I just want to emphasize that cleaning is different from disinfecting. Okay. Sa cleaning po, it's about removing the contaminants, all tangible materials, yung dust, soil, allergens on a surface. While sa disinfecting, we're killing microorganisms or the pathogens. So, ayan po si Bob, MegaManila's official character. So, sabi niya nga po, we should clean first before we disinfect. Okay. So, paano po ba piniprepare? How do we prepare the bleach solution or yung sodium hypochlorite solution na gagamitin natin for disinfection? First is you prepare the solution by mixing 4 teaspoons of the bleach plus 1 liter of water. Then you mix it together. You may put it in a spray bottle or a small pail and use it accordingly. So you could use it by spraying and wiping. But make sure to use the solution within 24 hours na ma-prepare nyo siya. Yung po kasing efficacy ng solution, nawawala na po siya kapag ka nalalagyan siya ng mga organic matter, especially po yung chlorine solution, kapag ka na-mix na siya ng mga dumi, nababawasan yung efficacy niya. Kaya dapat, within 24 hours, magamit nyo siya. So, gamitin nyo na pong lahat yung na-prepare nyo na solution. Or pwede naman po na itapon na lang. Pero sayang naman po. So, gamitin na lang dun sa mga surfaces. Pwede nyo gamitin sa CR. Yan. So, use within 24 hours. Okay. So, safe and effective use of disinfectants. Ito po yung lagi naming nire-remind. Read the label. Kasi makikita po natin doon how we should prepare the chemicals, how it should be applied, and of course, the precautions. Kung ano po ba yung mga dapat nating isuot na mga PPEs. Okay? So kung ano po yung nakalagay sa label, it's the best na i-follow po natin kung ano yung mga sinasabi sa label. So we are advising to wear PPE. So kahit po nasa bahay tayo, it's the best pa rin po na protected tayo. So pwede po natin gamitin yung gloves kapag nagmi-mix ng bleach. Medyo corrosive po kasi talaga yung bleach kung nakakapag-experience po kayo na maglinis na pure yung nilalagay. Medyo ano siya, 'di ba? Nakaka-dry siya ng kamay. So corrosive po kasi ang bleach solution. So pwede kayo gumamit ng gloves, and then meron din po kasing mga disinfectants na nag-i-emit ng fumes kapag minix mo siya with water. So, best din po na magsuot kayo ng mask and goggles para din ma-protect naman yung eyes ko, mag-spray kayo nung solution. And since nakaka-damage din siya or nagkukos din ng stain sa damit, pwede kayong magsuot ng apron. Okay. Yung efficacy din po kasi, kailangan na mag-follow tayo ng contact time. So, ito po yung sinasabi na kailangan na the surface must remain wet the whole time to be effective. So kung halimbawa sinabi sa label na kailangan mag-sit yung solution on the surface for several minutes, kailangan nating sundin yun para maging effective yung disinfection natin. Okay? And then of course, yung ventilation, don't forget. Kasi nga, pwede nating ma-inhale na magiging irritant din po kasi yung mga disinfectants like, di ba pag naglalagay lang tayo ng alcohol sa hands natin, minsan pumapasok sa ilong, di ba? Parang tayo. So, ensure that you have adequate ventilation during and after application ng disinfectants. And on the proper use, so avoid mixing different products. Okay? ito po kasi mga chemicals na to, especially yung alcohols and chlorine na products, mga highly reactive po itong mga chemicals na ito. So hindi siya advisable po talaga na i-mix sa ibang products. Especially po yung chlorine, kung i-mix po natin siya sa mga acid compounds, baka kasi biglang baka manggigil sa virus, i-mix with other disinfectants, so baka i-mix with muriatic acid, delikado po iyon. So baka mag-create pa po ng mas anong problema kung i-mix natin with other products. And use yung tap water lang unless kung binanggit po sa label na gumamit ka ng hot water or cold water, pero use tap water na lang po. Okay, and then we should prevent contamination with food. So kung mag-spray po kayo using the disinfectant solution, itabi na lang po muna yung mga pagkain or takpan. The best is itabi na lang muna para talagang hindi siya malalagyan. And then use no more than the amount recommended on the label. So wag po masyadong manggigil sa disinfectant. And of course, lock it up, keep the lids tightly closed, and keep out of children's reach. Okay, so paano po ba yung disinfection process? So una, we should don our PPE, wear gloves or goggles, depende po sa gagamitin. Okay? And then first is yung i-wipe muna yung mga high-touch surfaces. And then you could mop the floors and walls when necessary. Okay, so ano po ba yung mga high-touch surfaces natin that we should clean and disinfect daily? So ito po yung mga doorknobs natin, doorknobs and handles, okay, table surfaces, dining chairs, kitchen, bathroom, and counters, faucets and their knobs and handles, the cabinets, the drawers, yung refrigerator natin, yung mga oven handles, yung microwave oven, oven toaster, yan. Yung mga handles po yan na laging hinahawakan. So kasama po siya sa dapat na din i-disinfect daily. The toilet seat, ito po, hindi lang siya isang beses ginagamit sa isang araw. Madalas po ito. And depende pa sa dami ng mga members of the family. Okay, so the toilet seat and the handle. The staircase railing, okay. Remote controls. Lagi ding hinahawakan yan. Gadgets, yung cellphone po natin. Yung computers, yung keyboards, yung mouse. So kasama po yan sa dapat na dinidisinfect. Okay. So, pwede po kayong gumamit ng mga spray bottles. May mga nabibili naman po, may mga commercially available na mga spray bottles. So you could use it in misting or spraying. Or pwede rin naman po kayong bumili ng aerosols like yung sa Lysol. Pwede nyo pong gamitin yun sa pag-spray in the airspace. Okay. Ang advice lang po namin is you mist or spray from the farthest point of the room to the door. Para po, dun sa pinakadulo, hanggang sa exit na, papalabas na po kayo. Para by then, tatanggalin nyo na lang po yung gloves ninyo, at saka yung mga ginamit nyo pong mga equipment or yung mga gamit na like yung mga basahan, meron kayong ginamit. Diretso na po papunta sa sa bathroom or sa kung saan man ninyo tinatabi yung inyong mga ginagamit na kasangkapan. Okay. So reminder lang po, always wash hands with soap and water after using any cleaning and disinfecting products. Or better yet, take a bath. Okay. Para kung may naiwan man pong mga chemicals sa katawan, matatanggal po siya at mapiprevent po natin yung contamination. And yun ding effect po sa inyo kung corrosive man yung disinfectant solution na nagamit nyo or nagko-cause ng irritation sa skin. Okay. So madalas ito tinatanong natin to how should we handle packaged foods and fresh produce? Sa mga nanay na katulad ko, ito talaga yung laging iniisip na baka meron tayong nakukuhang virus from the grocery, ganyan. So, sabi naman po sa US Centers for Disease Control, kumbaga hindi naman pa talaga proven na nakukuha yung virus from the packaged foods and fresh produce. Kumbaga wala pa pong talaga nakikitang proof or evidence na nakukuha talaga sila from these food packages. Ang talagang most of transmission is yung physical contact. Yung meron kang merong mapunta sa yung mga droplets from the infected person. Okay? So, ang advice nila is do not use disinfectants on food packages or plastic wrap kasi nga possible contamination po ito sa pagkain. Okay? So, wag din pong hugasan with soap, with sanitizer and other disinfectants. Gently rinse fruits and vegetables under running tap water. And importante na bago ko talaga kumain, maghugas na mabuti ng kamay. Okay. Meron po siguro mga kayong napapanood sa mga social media or na Google na nire-rinse or sinusoak yung fruits and vegetables sa water with salt. Isusok siya doon for 15 minutes. Possible po na that's true for other bacteria and viruses, pero hindi pa po kasi siya na prove for SARS-CoV-2. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng Centers for Disease Control. For COVID, hindi pa siya proven. Pero sa iba siguro, kung nire-recommend yung ganong way to clean or to disinfect yung mga binibili nga natin. So, nasa inyo po kung gusto nyo gamitin. Pero para po sa akin, bilang chemist, ang nakikita kong parang mode of action doon ng salt. Kasi po pagka yung salt, you mix it in water, nagkakaroon ka ng chlorine atom. So yung chlorine, ito po yung nag-hydrolyze or pumapatay nung nag-i-inactivate nung mga virus. Okay? So handling the laundry. So regular lang po. Wash the clothes with regular laundry soap. Kung paano po natin nilalaban noon, ganun pa rin lang din naman po ang paglalaba. Just make sure lang po na gumamit tayo ng disinfectant o we disinfect the surfaces that the dirty laundry comes in contact with. Lalo na po kung may sakit sa bahay. And of course, wash hands thoroughly after handling dirty laundry. Maganda rin po kung halimbawang mag-aayos kayo ng mga damit na lalabhan, magsuot din po kayo ng mask para sigurado. Okay. So, what's the safest way to store disinfectants? So, we advise to keep it in original containers. So, ngayon kasi 'di ba, kumbaga nagiging practical tayo dahil laging ginagamit yung alcohol, bumibili na tayo ng malalaking containers. So kung bibili tayo ng malaking container, syempre transfer natin siya to small containers para din for ease of application or para madali natin siyang magamit. So pwede naman po tayong maglagay lang ng label kasi baka kung nakalagay lang sa isang baka mapagkamalan siya na anything na naiinom, so baka mainom yung poisoning naman yung maging problema natin. So it's important po to put labels on the refills. And then store large containers in a cabinet. Place refill bottles at eye level to avoid spills or the risk of something falling on your head. So baka mabagsakan pa. And ang ko rin po kung may mga bata, kasi yung mga bata talaga curious sila. So baka mamaya makuha nila, let's say yung bottle nyo na pinaglagyan is a spray bottle. Baka pag hawak nilang ganon, mas spray sa mata nila or mas spray sa ilong. So mas lalong delikado. So no talaga na ilagay siya sa maaabot nila. And baka din kasi sa masyadong nagiging curious yung bata, baka itry niyang inumin. So delikado. And of course, keep away from children and pets nga. Kasama na rin si pets. Para kasing children na rin ngayon ang mga pets. So what if someone in your household swallows a disinfectant? Parang hindi naman nga talaga imposibleng mangyari ito. So ang first na may advice ko po is call the PGH, National Poison and Management Control Center. So ito po ang tatawagan kaagad. Ito po yung number nila. Okay. And you could also check the label. Yung label po nung ginamit nyo na disinfectant for the first aid instruction. Nandoon po lahat yun. And pag halimbawa po talaga na need na yung patient na dalhin sa ospital, kailangan nyo pong dalhin yung label para magre-refer po doon yung mga medical practitioners kung paano i-handle yung patient. Okay. So, the rest of the slides won't be discussing much about the disinfection. Pero I have added some slides about staying fit and healthy and how we could reduce transmission. Okay. So, eat well cooked and nutrient-rich foods. Take vitamins and supplements. Increase the body's resistance with adequate rest and sleep. And of course, regular exercise. So ito po yung mga panlaban natin sa virus. Okay, apart from the regular health and safety protocols po na laging ipinapaalala po sa atin. Okay. So kailangan po kasi nating palakasin talaga yung ating antibodies para kung sakali man na maka-acquire tayo ng virus, malalabanan po ng katawan natin yung virus. Okay. So some reminders lang that we should wash our hands more frequent ngayon. Okay. Wear our mask properly. Kasama na rin po yung face shield. So madalas po pag lumalabas ako, nakikita ko yung iba, nakalagay dito yung face shield sa baba. yung face mask nandito sa baba, or yung face shield naman po nandito sa parang ginawang headband. Opo, ganyan. So parang nasasayang naman po yung yung purpose ng face shield kung ilalagay siya dito. Siguro nakakalimutan. Okay. Actually ako ginagamit ko talaga yung face shield kapag every time na I would speak to someone or basta lalabas, kasi it prevents me from touching my face. So nakakatulong din siya for me. Okay. So ngayon, more on tayo, 'di ba? More on like ngayon, we're doing webinars to do seminars. Meron tayong mga Zoom meetings, yung mga online meetings, virtual huddles, ganyan yung ginagawa sa mga loved ones natin. More on online ang communication natin. Okay. So kung wala naman po talagang ganun ka-importante, stay at home na lang. Okay. So marami naman po mga online platforms na pwede nating gamitin. So we could connect to our loved ones, sa mga friends, sa mga kanegosyo natin. Okay. So virtual hugs, stop the bugs. Okay. Even though we're apart, you're in my heart. Okay? Self-distancing na daw po ang new self-care ngayon. Okay. And then, ito naman po, don't wait, self-isolate. So, kung meron na po tayong nararamdamang symptoms, stay na lang po tayo sa bahay, mag-isolate tayo, wear mask, okay? Kahit nasa bahay, kung meron po tayong symptoms. Siguro po itong taon na to, ito yung pinaka-malinis nating taon na sabi nga kanina nila Ma'am Pest na hindi maaring ngayon hindi lang isang beses or 2 beses tayong naliligo. At saka lagi tayong nag-alcohol, di ba? Hugas ng kamay. Okay. So that ends my presentation. So thank you and keep safe.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Miss Andres. Those are all very practical, very easy, very doable. Kayang-kaya nating lahat gawin yan. So, dapat makinig tayo mabuti. Now, I trust now you have some questions to ask. So those of you, there is a chat box at the bottom of your screen. You can write out your questions, or if you wish to ask your questions personally, please open your camera and unmute your microphone, raise your hand, so you will be acknowledged. Ms. Josephine Parilla, Vice President, NCR, NCWP, will be our open forum moderator. Ms. Parilla, please. Parilla, are you there? See your questions. Ms. Neri, shall we proceed to the open forum? Your indulgence. We're just having slight technical problems. It falls up to Alice, saluhin mo muna. We have questions in the chat box. Meron ba?
Okay po. I think may technical problem si Ms.
sige.
Parilla. Okay. We have received several questions from our participants prior to our webinar. Probably some of which are answered by the presentation, but just the same, I will be reading it. From PWU, Ana Maria del Rosario. She's asking, how do you do proper cleaning? I think may discussion, unless may gusto madagdag ang ating resource person po sa tanong na yun.
Opo. Pagdating naman po sa cleaning, the best naman po talaga is you clean with soap and water. And then, i-follow na lang po yung disinfection using alcohols or yung bleach solution.
Okay po. So another question, again from PWU. How harmful is bleach as a disinfectant? From Marivic Terona of PWU.
Okay. So si bleach nga po, katulad ng sinasabi ko kanina, irritating po nga kasi siya and corrosive si bleach. So dapat po talaga hindi natin masyadong gagawing concentrated yung ating solution. Kasi pwede rin nga makontaminate yung food natin, ma-irritate yung skin, yung nasal or yung mucous membrane natin. Yun po yung harm nung bleach solution. Kaya po ang nire-recommend lang talaga is yung 4 teaspoon for every 1 liter. So wag na pong gumamit ng mas matapang pa.
Thank you, Ms. Sherille. Another question from Alice Nelly Agkawili from PWU. How often do you recommend an establishment have professional disinfection services?
Okay. Sa disinfection po, I would advise na daily po talaga dapat nagdi-disinfect tayo. Ngayon, kung yung establishment, frequented siya ng mga tao, like for example, from time to time, every hour, iba't ibang tao yung nandiyan dyan, yung mga offices, yung mga restaurants, baka mas kailangan na more than once sila mag-disinfect. Yung sa naman po sa professional service, it would be a little bit costly po kasi kung tayo ng professional service. That's why we're also sharing this to everyone para naman din po makatulong. So, as long as mawa-wipe lang naman po, kung merong readily available lagi na spray bottle and then you have a rag, kung meron mang nagpunta doon sa isang establishment, sundan lang siya ng wiping. Basta kung nag-wipe po at na-remain siya na basa, mas mabuti po na gano'n na lang siya, stay na wet yung surface. Kesa po wag na siyang iwa-wipe dry. Kasi nga yung contact time, kailangan natin ding ma-serve yung contact time na yon na para maging fully effective yung disinfectant solution.
Follow up dun po sa tanong na yon. May idea po ba sa cost? Kasi sabi niyo pag professionally done, it might be costly. So, baka naman, kaya din naman. Para lang mo may idea. Kung pwede po kayo mag-reveal ng prevailing cost of disinfecting. Kasi marami pong nakikita ngayon sa Facebook right now na cleaning services, disinfecting services. Pag nag-inquire ka naman, parang nabulula ka sa price. But ano ba yung current range ngayon?
Yung sa price, ma'am, kasi ano po depende po kasi talaga sa need ni client. Madalas po kasi ang ibibigay namin, syempre, yung ultimate, yung meron tayong wiping, meron tayong mopping, meron tayong spraying and misting. So depende po kasi talaga dun sa budget ng client and kung ano talaga yung gusto nilang ipagawa. Pero yung sa services po ni Mega Manila, siguro po magre-range from 8 to 15 pesos per square meter yung disinfection namin services. Depende po sa size nung iti-treat na facility.
Another
Regarding
question,
naman po sa services, meron pong website si Mega Manila and meron din naman pong Facebook page ang Mega Manila. So if they have questions about services, pwede rin naman po silang mag-inquire through those platforms.
Okay, Michelle. May isa pang question dito. This is from La Union, San Fernando, La Union. DOH, Department of Health, disinfected the floor of a restaurant in San Fernando City. And the fumes with small particles settled on the floor, making the floor dirty and could not be removed by a mop. Would baking soda and vinegar solve this? What would be the ratio?
Medyo ano po yung question na yun. Kasi unang-una, hindi ko po alam kung ano yung ginamit na disinfectant. So hindi ako makapagbigay ng ano ba yung pwede nating gamitin sa paglilinis. So ang tingin ko dyan, baka may ginamit silang equipment na nagre-require ng fuel or ng carrier oil, kaya nagkaroon ng mga fumes and merong residues on the floor. So, I don't think na makakatulong yung vinegar and baking soda. I think the best pa rin is yung soap and water para malinis yung floor.
So, yung ibang tanong dito, talagang nagbanggit mo na discuss na kanina. But another question from SI Makati. Are the chemicals you recommend or use plant-based? If not, are they non-cancer causing chemicals?
Okay. So, from definition naman po, disinfectants po talaga are chemical-based. So, lahat po talaga sila ay chemicals, yung mga disinfectant. Parang wala pa po akong na-encounter na plant-based na disinfectant. Mostly po talaga ay chemicals po talaga sila. Yung minimension na carcinogenic, ano po yan hindi po yan ilalabas sa market kung carcinogenic siya. Tapos po, meron lang pong caution, meron po kasing mga disinfectant like chlorine-based disinfectants na kaya nga po hindi ko ina-advise na i-mix sila. Possible po kasi na kapag minix sila, pwede tayong makabuo ng iba pang compound or ibang chemical na that would possibly carcinogenic, na harmful po talaga. Kaya we really don't advise mixing two different products.
Okay po. So from Zoom chat box, there are questions from Ms. Lina Tanwato. There are many disinfectants in the market aside from registration number. What are the safeguards, important solution to check when buying disinfectants?
Okay. So, para po sa akin, importante na may label. Okay? Doon po sa label, nakalagay doon yung composition. Kung halimbawa po, sinasabi alcohol. Okay? Ilang percent po yung alcohol na nandoon. So, kung isopropyl or ethyl alcohol yan, wala naman pong problema. Basta nandoon siya sa 70%. Kasi yun nga po yung sinasabi na magiging effective for SARS-CoV-2. So, dun sa label, dapat nakalagay din po doon paano ba siya minimix, kung kailangan ba siyang imix. Paano siya ina-apply, dapat po nandoon yun. Okay? Aside from the FDA registration number.
Thank you for that. Another question from FB Live naman po ito nanggaling. I would like to make sure of what I heard that coronavirus is now airborne. Please enlighten me. Thanks po.
Okay. Actually, in-announce po ito ng World Health Organization sometime in August or September. Kaya nga po, in-implement ng DOH and yung mga LGUs, yung pagsusuot na ng face shield. Before kasi, ang mandatory lang po, di ba, is yung paggamit ng face mask. Pero soon as dineclare po ito ng World Health Organization, nag-implement po ng minimum protocols ang Department of Health na kasama na ang pagsusuot ng face shield as the minimum health and safety protocol. Yes, airborne po. Airborne na po siya.
So balik po tayo sa Zoom from Marinel Manalo. What is the difference between ethyl alcohol and isopropyl alcohol?
Sa chemical structure po. So si ethyl alcohol po, parehas po silang may carbons and hydrogens and oxygen. Si ethyl alcohol, dalawa lang po yung niya, yung carbon niya. Yung po isopropyl, yung positioning po ng carbon and hydrogen, yun lang po yung nagkakaiba. Mas madami pong carbon and hydrogen si isopropyl kaysa po kay ethyl. Pero between the two, mas superior po ang ethyl alcohol based on researches.
Baka yung amoy, Sherille, no? Parang mas mabango ethyl yata o alin ba? Mas mabango
Ako rin po,
ethyl
mas
kasi.
gusto ko rin po yung amoy ng ethyl alcohol.
Another question from Marilyn Betis, NAPSI, WISC, Region 4. How can we disinfect our car after we use to protect ourselves from COVID?
Ako po, alcohol lang po ang ginagamit ko sa pagdi-disinfect ng car. So kung halimbawa po nagpa-service ako ng car, Lysol naman po yung buong kotse. So lahat po ng high touch surfaces like yung steering wheel, yung tawag dito. Sir, natawag doon sa cambio, tsaka yung handbrake, ayan. Yung frequently touched surfaces, yung mga door handles, ayan. Yung armrest, ayan. Yan po yung mga wina-wipe na surfaces. So ako po, before I ride my car, nagdi-disinfect ako ng mga high touch surfaces, yung steering wheel, yung cambio, tsaka yung handbrakes, tsaka yung mga pinipindot-pindot. Ayan. And pagdating ko rin po ng bahay, i-disinfect ko po ulit para sigurado.
Thank you po.
Just make sure po bukas lang yung window kasi nga talagang nakakaano po sa ilong yung alcohol.
Baka po may live na gustong magtanong. From the chat box, wala na pong ibang questions. I think I need to...
Meron.
Meron daw po sa live.
May I ask?
Sige po, si Ma'am Jean.
May I ask? What about the insect killers? Can they do as disinfectants?
Hindi po, ma'am. Hindi po kasi talaga sila yung insecticide po sila. So makakapatay po sila ng insekto. Pero it doesn't mean to say na makakakill po sila ng microorganisms like bacteria and viruses. Magkaiba po ng mode of action ang mga insecticide sa disinfectants.
Organisms like bacteria and viruses.
Yes.
Okay. Wala siyang ingredient na pareho.
Well, I guess meron pa po bang question from the audience, from our participants at home? Otherwise, I will give the...
Can I Neri?
Apo, sige po.
Can I read yung question dito sa FB Live?
Sige po.
From Langsky Dalisay. Is it okay to use Lysol to spray the face shield after nagamitin?
Yes, pwede po. Pwede pong gamitin ang Lysol. Ang Lysol po ay alcohol-based. So, pwede po siyang gamitin. Basta wag nyo nang pong i-spray nang nakasuot po. So, remove it and then spray with alcohol or Lysol. Actually, ako nga po, pag minsan ang ginagawa ko is wash lang with soap and water yung face shield ko. Kasi mapapatay naman po si COVID through
May isa pang tanong from FB Live. Eden Cervantes from DSWD4A. Miss Andres, how about yung disinfection fumigation sa warehouses? Like us sa DSWD, may storage kami ng food for distribution. How are we going to disinfect them? Yung warehouse siguro, hindi naman yung food ang di-disinfect siguro dito. Yung warehouse with food in them.
Okay.
Maapektuhan ba?
Opo. So, the best po talaga is kung kaya po nilang i-remove. Yes. Kung kaya po nilang i-remove yung mga food packages na nandoon, better po. Kung ngayon, kung hindi po talaga kaya, the best po na i-cover. I-cover yung mga food packages na yon before they do the disinfection. Pwede naman pong wiping lang. Then kung talagang if they think they need yung thorough na disinfection, they could do spraying and misting.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Neri?
Sherille. Back to me, Professor Olive.
Oh, okay, thank you. I hope all your questions have been answered. Anyway, if you have any other questions, you could probably write in to us, email to us, and we will forward it to our resource speaker. Anyway, thank you again for all that information. It's so simple, it's so easy to do. Kaya natin gawin ito. So, let's get on with it, right? Am I correct, no, Sherille? Napakadali. There's nothing complicated about it. It's just a matter of our doing it. So we can do this. Let's do this together. Anyway, today's program would not have been possible without the efforts of many people who worked hard. And we'd like to show our appreciation and gratitude. May we present a certificate and a token of appreciation to our guests. This special guest is presented to Sherille Andres for her dedicated and invaluable contribution as a resource person towards the success of the forum entitled Cleaning Tips to Disinfect Your Home Against COVID-19, held today, October 28, 2020, via Zoom. Signed, Nerissa Liena, Executive Director of YWCA, Ms. Lilia Fariñas, President, National President of YWCA of the Philippines, and Ms. Teresita Gonzalez, President, National Council of Women of the Philippines. Ms. Sherille, maraming salamat. Your information, your teachings, we learned a lot from you today, and like I said, they're all very practical. We should have been doing this even before, di ba? Hindi na kailangan tayong tinamaan ng COVID para gawin natin ito. But anyway, let's make it a habit. Let's be clean, let's be sterile, let's be disinfected. Thank you, Ms. Sherille.
Thank you din po.
So before, please accept our token of appreciation also. Thank you. Now, just a short announcement before we move on. We'd like our audience to please check out and reply to the evaluation form. If you will check, it's on the chat box. The link is on the chat box. And we will appreciate it if you could reply to it. It can also be accessed through email. If you wish us to email it to you, please let us know. This is important information for us because this is our way of finding out just how effective and how helpful the forum has been for you and for us. And it will help us for our future webinars. Maybe also thank you all for being here this afternoon, for joining us this afternoon for this very helpful, very practical webinar. And maybe also ask before we end today, Ms. Remedios Bicomon, Chairperson, Local and Global Affairs Committee of the YWCA of the Philippines, to deliver her parting words. Ma'am?
Unmute nyo po. Unmute nyo.
Ma'am, yung mic niyo. Off yung mic.
Naka-mute po kayo.
Unmute na.
Yan, okay.
Okay, ma'am. Your closing remarks, please.
I just want to say that everything we heard in this webinar is something that is always top of mind because there is a difference between life and death. For our household, for ourselves, and for all the friends whom we get in touch with. I think as far as we are concerned, we are all in this together. We look forward to that to try and be able to show our children and families that we are trying our best to see that all of us are safe. Not only all of our people in the house, but also the people whom we will come in touch with. Disinfectant. Disinfectant is something that we know we should be doing, but we have taken this for granted. I think this is the best time to be able to use ourselves safely, especially follow everything that we learned this afternoon. As I said before, it means the difference between health and death. So on behalf of the National Council of Women of the Philippines, the Young Women Association of the Philippines, in partnership with MegaManila, I just good afternoon to everyone.
Well, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. We just have some slight technical problems there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, friends, that concludes this afternoon's program. We hope that you take home with you important knowledge and learnings on how to survive this pandemic. As si ma'am said, kaya natin to, we're all in this together. And I hope we learn to protect ourselves, and to protect our loved ones, and to get on with our lives. So on behalf of the YWCA of the Philippines, NCWP, and Mega Manila Pest Management Specialists, we thank everyone for coming today. Just some quick reminders, if you please, and you've heard this all throughout the afternoon. Please, please, please wear a mask. Please wear a mask. If you can, as much as possible, wear a mask. And if you can, if you go out, wear a face shield. Suot ninyo. Wash your hands, stock up on soap, wash your hands, and as much as possible, stay away as much as possible from close contact with anyone. Protect yourselves and protect those that you love. So to everyone, thank you again for being here this afternoon. Please take care on your way back home. Keep safe, keep well. God bless you. Thank you.
Sherry, do you have a picture?
Buti tinagalog ni Sher. Nung maraming nandito sa text message na buti tinagalog kita.
Hi, Tina.
Look,
Hi, Lita.
I can see this yet.
Me. I
I'm
can
here.
you. Good.
Hi, attorney.
Hello. Hi.
I'm here.
Yes. Okay, we're done. Oh, kumusta ka? Hindi ba tayo magla-lunch? Dito pa nagchismisan eh.
Manila Hotel ka na, ha?
Hindi ba tayo magla-lunch yung mga may birthday ng October? Sino ba yun?
Oo nga.
Pwede, ipapa-deliver na lang ang lunch sa mga bahay nyo.
Lumalabas na kayo pag October.
Picture daw po, picture.
Ako hindi allowed.
Oh, yung mga iwan pa. Please open your camera.
Teka, paano ko open yung camera ko?
Magpapapicture daw muna.
Dali, lipstick muna. Oh.
Hanggat meron pang ano yun.
Ay, okay. Naka-ano naman ako. Naka-camera ako.
Gina, nandiyan ka pa?
Yes.
Gina, calling Gina.
Nakikita naman namin kayo, Torne.
Okay, okay na ako. Kahit maglubo ko. Sabihin lang, mag-count naman kayo, mag-count.
Oo, at saka ilang pages para lahat tayo.
Host on eh. Kung video po, wag na.
Okay.
Sana. Ay, Karen, sige, picture.
Okay, ready po. Ready? Okay, 2 shots po tayo kasi hindi po tayo kasya sa isang screen. So, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Isa pa po.
Hindi ko alam kung nasan ako eh.
Sige po.
Isa pa po.
1, 2, 3, smile. Ayan. Thank you po.
Okay.
Thank you po sa NCWP for the opportunity to share. Yes, ma'am. Thank you po.
Maraming salamat, Sherille.
Thank you din po.
Very big help.
Thank you, Sherille.
Welcome po. Salamat din po.
Saan ka kay Tess? Kay Tess, sa'yo siya, Tess.
Oo, sa amin siya. Oo.
11 years.
Yung office na kung saan tayo nagmi-meeting, doon siya.
Doon. Okay.
Galing siya mag-explain. Are you a chemist, Sherille?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Kaya alam
And she does kasi she does continuing education seminars
that's
talaga.
good. Yeah, things like
regularly.
this you really have to keep up.